Netgear Nighthawk M2 promises pocket-sized 4G that can hit a jaw-dropping 2 Gbps. Either we've reached fiber from a backpack territory or we're looking at a last-gen hotspot dressed up in big numbers. On paper, it's stacked. Cat20 LTE with Qualcomm's X24 modem, 5 carrier aggregation, dual-band Wi-Fi for up to 20 devices, a removable battery, external TS9 antenna ports, Ethernet and USB-C tethering, plus a color touchscreen. Sounds criminally generous, but can 4G really do 2 Gbps in the real world? Here's what caught my attention, and here's where I started side-eyeing the marketing. I spent 2 solid weeks testing the Nighthawk M2 across city, suburb, and highway with AT&T and T-Mobile SIMs to see what it can actually do. I've put the direct link to check current pricing in the description, but before you click anything, let me show you what I discovered after 2 weeks of testing. Let's set expectations. The Nighthawk M2 claims to deliver blazing fast LTE up to 2 Gbps down and 150 Mbps up. All-day battery life in a compact hotspot. Stable sharing for up to 20 devices with dual-band Wi-Fi. Unlocked global compatibility for travel and easy setup. Sounds impressive, right? Pretty bold claims for a 4G device in a 5G world, but here's where things get interesting. Reality check. They claim 2 Gbps LTE. What you actually get is typically 70 to 300 Mbps in real life, sometimes peaking higher in perfect spots. Here's why. To hit 2 Gbps on LTE, you need multiple 20 MHz carriers aggregated, 256 QAM, 4x4 MIMO, clean signal, and a tower with serious backhaul. Most towers simply don't have that combination available to a single user, especially at busy times. In my tests, downtown AT&T peaked at 280 Mbps down and hovered around 110 to 180 most of the day. Uploads were 15 to 35. T-Mobile gave me 90 to 150 Mbps in the suburbs with uploads around 10 to 25. Reliable, yes, 2 gigabits, let's be real here. That's marketing math, not everyday performance. They claim all-day battery. Reality, 8 to 10 hours of mixed use, 5 to 6 if you push it with heavy tethering or large downloads. Streaming 2 laptops and a tablet, I got just over 9 hours before it warned me at 10%. On standby, sure, it can stretch to a day. Under sustained load, it runs warm and you'll feel it. After about 45 minutes of max throughput on Ethernet tethering, the chassis was noticeably hot to the touch. I did not see severe throttling, but heat is a thing. Pro tip. For stationary use, pull the battery and run it on USB-C power to reduce heat and extend battery lifespan. They claim up to 20 devices. Reality, it connects that many, but if 10 people are actually streaming, your latency jumps and throughput per device craters. On 5 GHz, I measured idle pings in the 30-40 ms range with a few clients. Pack it with a dozen and you'll see 6100 ms and occasional spikes. 2.4 GHz works through more walls but is slower and more congested. That's not the M2 failing, that's physics and shared bandwidth. They claim unlocked global. Reality. The band support and firmware situation is complicated. The M2 comes in regional variants, think EU versus Telstra O, and while many units are sold as unlocked, some carry firmware that hides features like band locking or Wi-Fi offload. In the US, AT&T worked fine for me, T-Mobile worked with a few APN tweaks, and Verizon wouldn't authenticate. In Europe, you're generally better off, but check your exact model number and supported bands. The plot twist, some Amazon listings say unlocked but ship a carrier-branded firmware that makes updates in certain advanced settings a headache. Always verify the model Mr. 2100 to 100 EUS or equivalent before buying. Here's where things get interesting on wired use. The Ethernet port and USB-C tethering are the secret sauce for turning the M2 into a mini fixed connection. I bridged it to a mesh router and it ran for days without drops. However, data offload settings are inconsistent by firmware. On one unit, I could offload to existing Wi-Fi when available. On another, I needed the app to toggle it and some menus were missing. If you're planning advanced setups, expect a little tech roulette depending on your region firmware. Speed and radio performance. In 2 weeks, my sustained averages were 120-160 Mbps down in metro areas and 30-60 Mbps in inner suburbs. Uploads mostly 10-25. With an inexpensive pair of TS9 external antennas suction cup to a window, I improved weak indoor signals by 20–40%, especially uploads. That's the honest win of Cat 20 plus external antennas, better consistency and uplink when the tower cooperates. Battery and thermals, the removable battery is a big plus. I measured roughly 8–10 hours of mixed use and around 5–6 hours under heavy loads. USB-C charging is quick enough to top up during lunch. Warmth under load is normal, but some long-term users report battery swelling after months of 24/7 tethering with the battery left in. If you're going to use it as a permanent home backup, run it on wall power with the battery out. Build quality and usability. It feels solid for plastic. The touchscreen is handy for quick checks, but it's not buttery smooth and can lag. The TS9 ports are delicate. Use right-angle adapters and avoid yanking cables. The back cover clips are snug, and the replaceable battery is a rare, welcome feature. Wi-Fi range is fine for a small apartment or RV. Houses with multiple walls may need a router handoff over Ethernet or USB. Software and extras. The Netgear mobile app is straightforward, but advanced controls like band locking are limited compared to enthusiast gear. Media sharing from microSD or USB storage works, and it can trickle charge a phone via USB-A. Here's what nobody tells you. Listings often blur the line between EU and AU variants, and that can change which bands you actually get and what menus appear. Dig into reviews and you'll see patterns. Praise for solid LTE speeds, frustration around firmware quirks, and occasional complaints about heat or batteries aging fast under constant tethering. Verdict: buy with caution. If you want a rock-solid 4G workhorse with Ethernet and external antenna support, and your carrier's LTE is strong, the Nighthawk M2 still delivers dependable performance. It's worth it if you can find it under about $300 and you do not need 5G. Skip this if you're on Verizon, if you need future-proof speeds, or if the price creeps into new 5G hotspot territory. Pros: strong LTE consistency, Ethernet and USB-C tethering, removable battery, dual-band Wi-Fi, antenna ports. Cons: marketing speed fantasy, heat under heavy load, regional firmware puzzles, and it's aging in a 5G world. Value-wise, it's a smart pick on a deal. At full retail, save your money for a newer 5G model. Thanks for watching. If this review saved you from wasting money or helped you find something actually worth buying, I've put the link to check current pricing and read more reviews in the description. And hey, if you do decide to buy through my link, it helps fund these investigations without costing you extra. Got questions about bands, carriers, or antennas for the M2? Drop them in the comments. Next up, I'm putting the Nighthawk M5 head-to-head with Inseego's 5G lineup to see what actually wins in 2026. Stay savvy, stay speedy, and I'll see you in the next one.